I'm Timotab, and today I'm going to solve Ramblin Wreck by James Sinclair. As you may well know by now, given I have featured several of his puzzles from his artisanal Sudoku newsletter, James has a newsletter called Artisanal Sudoku. Comes out every Monday. There are typically 3 free puzzles, and then if you sign up for a higher tier subscription and pay a small amount for that privilege, you will have some additional puzzles plus hints on how to solve the puzzles. I will link to James's website in the description, as well as the first link being the link to this particular puzzle. And this puzzle first appeared in Artisanal Sudoku 168. Okay, let's have a look at the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, and all clues are standard. So that means, really, that's a shortcut for anybody who is familiar with Sudoku and variant Sudoku. You can read that one line and know what you have to do, because you'll probably be familiar with all of the symbols on the grid. Okay. Dynamic fog. Correctly placed digits clear fog from their own cell and possibly other cells. So if I correctly determine that that is a 1, I'm not going to put a big digit in there in case it is a 1, it'll definitely clear its own cell, and that's the way James has set it up. And it may clear fog somewhere else in the grid. Who knows where? Cages. The sum of the digits inside each cage is equal to the small number in the top left-hand corner, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. So those 4 cells are going to sum to 13. If there were a cage here, then although by Sudoku those 2 digits could be the same, because that was a cage, they're not allowed to repeat. Okay, German whispers. Along green lines, digits differ from their neighbours by at least 5. So if this were a 3, this would have to be at least an 8 or a 9, or it would have to be an 8 or a 9, to be at least 5 away. Obviously it can't be, because you know what that V means, I suspect, but we'll get to that in a moment. In fact, we'll get to it right now. Digits in cells separated by a V must sum to 5, so those 2 digits are going to sum to 5. Digits in cells separated by an X sum to 10. So if I have an X here, say, those 2 digits will sum to 10. Digits in cells with a shaded square are even, so that is going to be an even digit. And digits separated by a black dot, which we don't see at the moment, have a 1:2 ratio. So if this were a 2 and this had a black dot, then this could be a 1 or a 4. Okay, I am going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. So, things about German whispers. First of all, I can't put a 5 on a German whisper, because if I did, the next digit would have to be either 0 or less or 10 or more, and they aren't valid Sudoku digits. Next, we are going to alternate between above 5 and below 5. And the reason for that, let us suppose that this was a low digit, and we tried putting a low digit here. Then, the maximum difference between these 2 digits would be 3, but the required minimum is 5, so that doesn't work. Same as if I tried placing 2 high digits next to each other. Now that is useful because we know that those 2 digits sum to 5, so they must be from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Therefore, this is a high digit, 6, 7, 8, or 9, and this is a high digit, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, these 2 sum to 5 are total for the cage is 13. So that means that these 2 must sum to 8. Right? Yes, 5 plus 8 is 13. But this is an even digit. So and an even digit must go with an even digit to sum to an even number. So two even digits always sum to an even number. So given that that's even and the sum is even, this must be even. So we can first of all eliminate 7 and 9. And then in fact, if that were 8, that would have to be a 0, which is not a valid Sudoku digit. So that is a 2. That is a 6. The only digit that can go next to a 6 on a German Whispers line is a 1. The other digits are too close. So that is a 1. And then by the V, that makes that 4. And indeed, 6 plus 4 plus 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So we are all good there. Okay. This is from 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is going to sum to 17. This cannot be a 3, because if this were a 3, that would be a 6, and then that would have to be 12, or 3, which we can't repeat. So neither of those work. So that is not 3. So that's going to be 1 plus 2 plus 4. Oh, if that's not a 3, let's first of all remove 2 from there. 1, 2, 4, 2, 4, 8, or 4, 2, 1. Those are the options. Right. And those two digits add up to 5. So those two digits must add up to 12. And the only way that works is with that being an 8 and that being a 4. We could also have figured that out because this was from our low digit set, therefore this had to be a high digit. So there's a number of different ways you could see that. But that's James making it very approachable for us. So that 4 means that must now be a 2, and that makes that a 3. And again, we have summed to 17 just as we hoped. All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4 go in there. That's 5. These two have to add to 11. Well, that can't be a 2 or a 4 by Sudoku, first of all. So that 1 goes with a 4 and a 3 goes with a 2. So if on this black dot, this digit is either a 2 if this is a 1 or a 6 if this is a 3. So that's 2 or 6. So this is 5, so this must be 11. So this must be 9 if this is 2, or 5 if this is 6. Right. This 2, 4 is making that a 6. So that's a 3. That becomes a 2 to sum to 5, and then that becomes a 5 to sum the total box to 16. All right, let's have a look up here. We have a 27 cage in 4 cells. Those two sum to 10. Those two, therefore, sum to 17. The only way to make 17 in 2 digits that see each other is an 8, 9. And that can't be a 9 because neither 4.5 nor 18 can go into that cell. So that is 8. That is 9. This must now be a 4, and that is now a 6. Let's tidy up, remove the 8 and 9 from there. Okay. A 14 is made up of either 9 and 5 or 8 and 6. Can't make 14 in two cells any other way. So if it's 5 and 9, then it has to be a 9 here and a 5 here. And if it's 8 and 6, it has to be 8 here with 6 here. That makes that 1 or 4. Ah, okay, that's very nice. Where does 6 go in this box? It can't go here or here because of this 6 and this 6. And it can't go here because of this 6. So that is the 6. Therefore, that is 8. And that is 4. These two digits sum to 10. Something that is useful to be aware of is that two digits that sum to 10 must either be both odd or both even. So it can't be 8 and 2, it can't be 4 or 6. This is an odd pair. So that's 1 and 9 or 3 and 7. And that is not a 1, so that's not a 9. There's not a lot to go on. But what I can do, where does 4 go in this box? It can't go here or here by Sudoku, or there or there. So the 4 goes there. And that gives us a little bit of German whisper line, and the only digit that is at least 5 away from a 4 is 9. So that must be a 9, and that must be a 9. That eliminates 9 from this box, or from this 10 pair. So that must be a 3-7 pair. That leaves us with 1, 2, 5 in this box. Let's put those in. Right, this has to be a low digit, and it sees 2 and 4. So that's going to be 1 or 3. This has to be a low digit, and it sees 2, 3, and 4. So that has to be a 1. This has to be a high digit, and the only high digit left in the row is a 7, which makes that 5, I believe. Aha! And now we have a 12 cage up here. Just quickly checking to see what we can do here. All right. So we could have 9 and 3. We can't have 8 and 4 because there's an 8 in the box. We can't have 7 and 5 because there's a 5 in the column. That's the 3 ways of making 12 in 2 cells. So it is 9 and 3, and this 9 tells us the order. So that's 9, and that's 3. That did not give me any new digits or any new did not clear any fog is the word I'm looking for. So what do we already have that we can use? We can see that those can't be 4s and those can't be 4s by Sudoku, so that's a 4. There we go. This is 1, 3. It's the only way to make up a 4 cage in 2 cells. So that's a 3, that's a 1. And again, we didn't get anything new, so that 3 and that 3 places us a 3 here. That did clear fog. That was at least enough for that. Ones. One must go in one of those two. There's a 3 in one of those two. There's no 2 there, no 2 there. Ah, right, no 2 there, no 2 there in this box. That's a 2. And that, because that goes into this cell, this can no longer be a 6. So that is a 7. This is a high digit that is not a 9 or a 7, and it can't be a 6 because that's too close, so that's an 8. This is a low digit, can't be 2, 3, or 4. That's a 1. This is a high digit that can't be 7, 8, or 9. So that is 6. That makes that a 1. That makes this a high digit that is not an 8. So that is 6, 7, or 9. Okay. Is there... Yeah, that could still be a 6, so we can't even eliminate a 6 from there. But I can place that digit, which must be a 5. That eliminates 5 from those. That's a 1, 2 pair. That's now 5. The 1, 2 pair here gives us 7 and 9 in the column. These 3 digits are 2, 5, 7. And that's not a 2, and that's not a 2, so that is. That's a 2, that's a 5, 7 pair. Those aren't 5s and those aren't 5 because of the 5s we can see. That's not a 5 because it's on the gem and whisper, so that's a 5, which resolves the 7 and the 5. These 2 digits then must be 4 and 5. I don't think I can resolve which is which yet, but that makes this a 6. And these are 7, 8, and 9. But that one is not 9. Okay. And we make progress and continue on. Right, these 2 digits in this column are 3 and 9, and we do know the order because of this 3, 7 pair here. So that's a 9, that's a 3. These 3 digits are 1, 6, and 7. Okay, those aren't 7, so that's a 7. That's not a 1, so that's the 6, and that's the 1. That removes a 6 from here, and I get a 7, 9 pair in the column and the box. And then these are 2, 6, 8. And that has to be the 6. And that's the 8, that's the 2. This 3 resolves that as being a 1. This is now, oh, that's not a 3, and that is. 3 can't go next to 7, so that's a 9, making that 7. 3 has to go between 8 and 9, so that's an 8. This is a low digit that is not a 4, 2, or 3, that's a 1. That is not a 6, because there's 1 in the box and the column. It's not an 8 or a 9, that is 7. This digit then is the last one in the row and is a 2. This 7 resolves my 3 and 7 down here. This 1 resolves the 2 and the 1. These two digits are 2 and 6, which are resolved above. 4, 5, and 8. Neither of those are 8s, so that's an 8. This is 4 and 5, actually, which would then make this a 4 or 5, but it can't be a 5. So that's a 4, that's a 5, that's a 4. That is a 9 to complete the row. This 4 looks up, makes that 5 and 4. We need a 5 and 7 in this box. That's the 7. That's the 5. The 7 looks across at this 9, giving that as 7. That says 8. That is 9. And then these last two digits are 3 and 8, which go in that order. Yep, that is a nice, approachable, and elegant looking fog puzzle once it's all revealed. Yeah, that was super fun and one that's really approachable, as I say. So I hope you had a go. If you did, then please let me know what kind of time you took. Okay, if you like this solve, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see some more, and I would love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.